When empathy fades. The silent shift in friendship. Friendship often begins with laughter, late-night talks, and the comforting belief that someone truly understands you. You share everything, your dreams, your fears, your secrets, but slowly, something changes. The warmth that once existed begins to fade. Messages slow down, interest weakens, and the person who once cared about every detail of your life now seems emotionally absent. That's how empathy dies, not in one dramatic moment, but in quiet silence. Empathy isn't something that disappears instantly. It fades slowly, like light dissolving at sunset. In the beginning, your friend still listens, still checks in, but with time, their care becomes surface level. They stop feeling what you feel. They stop noticing when your laughter sounds forced. They might still be in your life, but emotionally they've already left. The truth is, empathy demands effort. It requires listening when it's inconvenient, showing up when it's uncomfortable, and caring even when there's nothing to gain. But today's friendships often chase convenience, not connection. Everyone wants attention, but few want to give understanding. So when a friend's empathy fades, it doesn't always mean hatred. Sometimes it means exhaustion, distraction, or emotional immaturity. But you must see it for what it is, a sign that the bond has weakened. Don't beg people to care. Don't chase empathy from those who've lost it. Instead, protect your own. The world doesn't need colder hearts. It needs people who still feel deeply. And if that's you, never let anyone convince you that caring is weakness. In truth, empathy is your greatest strength. 2. When jealousy replaces understanding. Jealousy is one of the most silent killers of empathy. It begins quietly. Maybe your life starts improving. Maybe you're growing while your friend is stuck. At first, they smile and congratulate you, but over time their tone changes. Their laughter sounds forced. Their support turns into comparison. Suddenly, your happiness becomes a reminder of their frustration. When envy enters a friendship, empathy begins to rot. They stop seeing your achievements as something to celebrate and start seeing them as competition. Your success becomes their insecurity. Your progress becomes their pain. And when someone is busy comparing, they stop caring. True empathy requires security, the confidence to celebrate someone else's light without feeling that it dims your own. But many friendships fail that test. They start out pure, but jealousy poisons the connection. Instead of asking, "How can I support you?" they ask, "Why not me?" The saddest part, sometimes these friends don't even realize they've lost empathy. Their hearts harden subtly, their encouragement turns into sarcasm, their advice turns into criticism. They may still call themselves your friend, but emotionally they've shifted from cheering you on to quietly resenting you. If you notice this, protect your peace. You can't heal a friendship that's fueled by comparison. Don't shrink your success to make others comfortable. The right friends will always feel your happiness as their own. Remember, real empathy doesn't fade in another's success, it multiplies. Because when hearts are pure, someone else's rise is a shared victory, not a threat. 3. Emotional numbness. When hearts go cold sometimes, friends lose empathy not because they hate you, but because they've become emotionally numb. Life breaks people in ways we don't always see. Disappointments, betrayals, loss, they teach some people to stop feeling as a form of survival. They put up emotional walls so high that even genuine love can't reach them. You talk about your pain, but they respond with silence. You cry for help, but they give you logic instead of compassion. They're not cruel, just disconnected. Their empathy is buried under layers of self-protection. In a world that glorifies toughness, emotional numbness has become the new normal. People call it being strong, but it's really just emotional avoidance. They don't want to feel too much, care too much, or risk being hurt again. But the cost of this safety is empathy. The truth is, numb people don't make bad friends. They make distant ones. They can be physically present yet emotionally absent. And when you need them most, you realize you're standing next to a heart that no longer beats for anyone but itself. It's painful to love someone who has forgotten how to feel. But remember, their numbness isn't your fault. You can't teach empathy to someone who's afraid to feel. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away, not out of anger, but acceptance. You can't force someone to care. You can only protect your softness in a world that rewards hardness. Empathy is not a weakness, it's emotional intelligence, the courage to feel deeply in a shallow world. Don't lose that just because others did. 4. When friendship becomes one-sided. One of the surest signs that empathy is dying is when friendship becomes one-sided. You start noticing that you're always the listener, the comforter, the one checking in, but when you're in pain, they disappear. You pour your energy into keeping the friendship alive, while they give you excuses and silence in return. This imbalance slowly kills empathy, because empathy requires mutual exchange. It's not just being there when it's easy, it's being there when it's inconvenient. Yet some friends grow so used to your emotional generosity that they start taking it for granted. They assume you'll always be there. They think your kindness is endless, and when someone believes your empathy has no limits, they stop respecting it. They drain you, then blame you for being tired. They don't realize that even strong hearts break when they're never refilled. A healthy friendship is like breathing. Both give and take, but when only one person keeps giving, suffocation begins. The painful truth. Some people don't lose empathy, they just stop using it for you. Maybe because you've always been the strong one, they think you don't need help, but strong people get tired too. If you find yourself always holding the emotional weight, step back, test the friendship by your silence. You'll see who notices. Empathy cannot survive an imbalance. It dies in relationships where one heart gives endlessly, while the other only receives. Protect your energy. Love deeply but wisely, because not everyone who smiles at you is capable of feeling for you. 5. The final truth, growth, ego, and the death of empathy. At the core of every lost friendship lies a simple truth. People change, some evolve, some regress, and some stop growing altogether. Empathy requires emotional maturity, the ability to see beyond yourself. But when ego takes over, empathy dies. Ego says, my pain matters more. Empathy says, your pain matters too. When friends stop growing emotionally, they stop understanding perspectives outside their own. Every conversation becomes about them. Every problem becomes your fault. They no longer listen to understand, they listen to reply. This is where friendship turns transactional, no longer built on care but convenience. Empathy cannot exist where ego dominates, because empathy requires humility, the courage to admit that someone else's feelings are valid even when you don't understand them. But ego feeds on superiority, and superiority suffocates connection. If you outgrow a friendship, don't blame yourself. You were never meant to shrink to fit someone's emotional limits. The people who truly value empathy will meet you at your level of understanding, not drag you down to theirs. So when empathy dies, let go with grace. Don't harden your heart in response. Stay kind, stay open, stay genuine. Because the world desperately needs people who still feel. In the end, losing empathy is not just the end of friendship, it's the end of connection. And those who lose empathy lose the very essence of being human. So protect your heart, but never let it turn cold. In a world that's forgetting how to care, your ability to feel deeply is your greatest act of strength.